Hi, I'm Gracie with Colorburst, and we're going to talk about some common issues you may see in your flower beds that prevent them from performing their best, specifically lack of water, insects and related pests, as well as diseases. First, we're going to talk about the most common issue seen in your flower beds: lack of sufficient water. Plants and flowers need water just like you and I do. Here we see a picture of a flower bed that has not received adequate amounts of water. Notice the small and wilted look of the flowers as well as discoloration. The flowers are also not producing the colorful blooms like they should. Now look at these pictures of a flower bed that have received the right amounts of water in comparison to these that have not. These flowers were planted at the same time and on the same site. See the difference? Another thing to check for is even watering and automatic irrigation systems. All of the beds need to receive the same amount of water to produce healthy and evenly grown flowers. Here is an example if beds are unevenly watered. If insufficient watering continues, the flowers will eventually shrivel and die. For proper watering ideas, you can check out this link. In dry, sunny areas, planting drought-tolerant plants is a good idea because they can still thrive and bloom in drier conditions compared to other flowers. Some drought-tolerant plants include lantana, angelonia, ornamental grasses, secretia, and verbena. Another issue seen in your flower beds is insects and related pests. Some of these include aphids, whiteflies, slugs, and snails. Once the pest is identified, there are treatments available to rid your beds of the pest so your flowers can thrive. Aphids are a very common issue seen in flower beds and can be identified fairly easily. Aphids are soft-bodied, pear-shaped tiny insects that are whitish in color and typically found on the underside of leaves. They suck the sap from leaves and distort the look of the plant and can even cause leaves and blooms to drop. Here is a picture of an infected petunia plant with aphids. Notice the wilted look to the leaves. Aphids can affect almost any plant. An approved insecticide applied thoroughly to the affected plant can be used to rid the plant of aphids. Organic controls such as planting marigolds or using a soap-based spray can also be used to help reduce aphids on plants as well. Whiteflies are another insect pest closely related to aphids. They are very small and can be noticed when an infected plant is shaken or disturbed. The tiny flies will swarm out from the underside of the leaves. Whiteflies particularly like verbena and lantana. They cause a black fungus to grow on plants by secreting honeydew on the leaves. This can reduce flower blooms. Applying insecticidal soap or garlic oil can help reduce whiteflies on plants. Or, for a chemical approach, an approved insecticide may be used as well. The last group of pests we will discuss are slugs and snails. Slugs and snails are rarely seen due to their nocturnal nature. Their presence can be easily seen on leaves riddled with holes. Slugs and snails prefer warm, wet, and dark places. This picture shows a salvia plant that has become a natural buffet for slugs and snails. Besides salvia, they tend to show up on sweet potato, petunias, zinnias, and caladiums. Slug bait, which is typically in a pellet form, can be sprinkled around the affected area to prevent the slugs and snails from eating on the flowers. Organic controls include sprinkling coffee grounds, eggshells, or even saucers of beer in your flower beds. The last issue we will talk about is diseases in your flowers. Stem rot can make your flower beds look like ground zero if let spread and not treated. Here is a picture of a begonia that has suffered from stem rot and completely collapsed. Symptoms of infected plants include stunted growth and a wilted look, followed by complete collapse. Common flowers affected by stem rot include begonias, vinca, and petunias. Stem rot can be common in areas where the soil is wet for extended periods of time. Prevention is key to avoiding stem rot. Using only healthy plants and good water drainage at the site can help avoid the disease. However, stem rot may still occur, and in which case an approved fungicide may be applied to protect the flowers and plants not yet affected. The last disease we will mention is downy mildew, specifically on impatiens. This disease has spread across the entire country in the past few years. Here is a picture of an impatient infected with downy mildew. The underside of the leaf appears to have a white mold on it. An infected plant will first have a yellowish look and seem to wilt as if it needs water. Then the flowers and leaves will drop, stems will collapse, and the plant will die. Downy mildew can be prevented by beginning fungicide application before signs of the disease appear. New Guinea impatiens, caladiums, coleus, and begonias are other plants that can add color and texture to a shady area in place of impatiens. In most cases, true impatiens should be avoided altogether. The risk is too high for disease, and with several dependable substitutes available, it is the best choice for your flower beds. I hope this video has shed some light on some common issues that might be affecting the health of your flower beds. Prevention is always best, but now you have the ability to identify and treat these problems as well. I thank you for your time and have a brilliant day.